Carl here from Games, Brains and Headbanging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. It's album review time. You've seen the title. It's out on September 16th, 2022 via Nuclear Blast. Opvs Contra Natvram. No idea if I'm saying that completely right, but that's my goal. It is the new and 12th studio album from those Polish heavyweights, Hellraisers, Behemoth. Over 3 decades, this band has proven to be so much more than a mere black metal band. I think they proved that with the last album too. And this new album is a personification of rebellion, individuality, and unflinching self-expression. Never afraid to try something new. Never afraid to challenge listeners. And most importantly of all, I think, never afraid to push themselves to new limits. Behemoth may never, ever be able to top the Satanist as their opus. But with this new album, they're certainly giving it a run for its money. What we have here is Behemoth's most cinematic album to date, where the sense of grandness is on a scale not heard from this band to date, where primordial black metal meets unrelenting fury and lavish elaboration. It is an intense Behemoth release, but an anthemic one nonetheless. Few black metal bands can be called that, but Behemoth are simply in a league of their own. We begin very ominously. There's a palatable sense of danger to post-gold Nirvana, the subtle atmospheric build, the marching beat, the shouted vocals, the turn towards dark folk a la someone like Heilung, and the easing into the following track, Malaria Vulgata, where blackened heaviness reigns supreme, and Behemoth spit fire and brimstone as though the devil inhabits their very souls. It is a callback, I think, to their more intense days. The elaborate and experimental side of Behemoth raises its head on the Deathless Sun, where the chorus is something all demonic creatures will enjoy roaring back to Behemoth loud enough to shake heaven's gates. Followed then by the expansion of the aforementioned cinematic aspects on Of My Herculean Exile, where malice and scorn drips from every single part of this track. And the drums, ooh, did I really take note of the drums here? They are stunning on this track, particularly stunning across the entire album. The production is fantastic, but on this track, boom, right in my ear. Before we get Neo Spartacus, which turns out to be an unlikely call to arms, but of course, as only Behemoth can do. So that's 5 tracks done. We have 5 to go. And what an album it has been so far. I can't think I can accurately put into words how lavish and elaborate this first half is. So any expectation of a dip in quality here and there, it is completely washed away with the guttural noise of black and progressive metal that is disinheritance. A chaotic example of how intense Behemoth can be when left completely unrestrained. Though nothing heard so far can prepare a listener for Off to War. A blend of hyperactive heaviness, cinematic orchestration, and an underlying intensity. It's a passionate display from the Polish black metalers that slowly suffocates with its creeping darkness. Simply put, Behemoth are delivering absolute gold here, and further proof comes in the form of the neck-breaking Once Upon a Pale Horse, one of the most head-banging-inducing tracks on the entire album. Again, gonna come back to it, because, man, I love it. That drumming is so good, it is immense, but it's not alone. Watch out for the insanity of the guitar soloing near the end of this track. Amazing, amazing stuff. It's all about epic fury with Thy becoming eternal as Behemoth dig deep into the circles of hell to find ancient and long forgotten delight before this incredible album finishes in style with Versus Christius. The track begins with a gothic piano melody and whispered vocals, a subtle touch of atmosphere enhancing the gloom which begins to grow as the pace increases. Then the guitars and drums arrive to play alongside the piano and the vocals begin to rise in volume. Suddenly, it's transformed into something beastly, but incredibly memorable. Behemoth seemingly saving the best for the very last, as I think this track is one of the best things they've ever written. I am putting it out there, standing on my pedestal, taking my licks if you don't agree with me. I love it, blew me away. and so does the album. It's album after album. This band never disappoints. They fail to disappoint. They continue to move forward while staying true to what has sustained them for 30 plus years. It is a stunning showcase of everything great about this band, and I think will be revered as the Satanist once was when it is unleashed upon the world. I think that comparative is going to come back, not because they're in any way particularly similar beyond black metal and black metal, and I certainly think this is maybe less accessible than the Satanist was, but the Satanist, being as the Satanist, is held up there in such high regard. I feel that this album is going to be held in the same high regard. I think it's going to be up there alongside it. But that's, of course, just my opinion. I loved it. I kind of hope you do too. It's out on September 16th, 2022 by Nuclear Blast. Not too long to wait. You know you're going to check it out. Don't need me to tell you to do that. But once you do, come back, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?